welcome all my fantasy fanatics to another episode of the Don's Fantasy Playbook. Woo, where dreams come true and become reality. Hey, another rough week in the NFL. There was some good scores, but there wasn't a lot. There was some hard games. I know fantasy football owners. I mean, NFL, it all depends who you had to, because there were some teams that showed out and there were some that didn't. But let's see if yours did. Let's go to my top players for the week. All right, let's start with the top quarterbacks. Number one, who made? I told you this man was going to come back and show out. I did. I mean, he was facing Jacksonville. Yeah, it really doesn't take that much to show out on Jacksonville these days. Jeff Goff. Jeff, hey, 24 for 29, 412 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Yeah, the man put up 4 touchdowns. He was flinging that thing. We got we got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Yeah, you heard him, the golden boy. Hey, he's out there slinging it. You know, he gets receivers for it, so at times they might not have no defense, but hey, he can find his weapons out there. He got 29.4 this week. You know, Joe was 28 of 50. 50. He had 50 attempts this week. So that tells you. 356 yards and 3 touchdowns. Next, Bo Nix. Bo's been on fire lately. Denver's been showing, hey, they've been looking good. So Bo was 28 of 33. 28 to 33. So he just had 5 incompletions, if you look at that. He had put up 28.7 fantasy points this week. And plus he had 356 yards. Don't let me no, that's Joe. Bo Nix had 307 yards, 4 touchdowns. My bad. Hey, gotta give Bo his respect. Hey, good rookie season so far, you tell you that. Anthony Richardson. Yeah, Anthony Richardson back. They put Flacco down, and Anthony's back. So this is Indianapolis. Make up your mind what you're gonna do. Richardson put up 28 points this week. He was 20 of 30, 272 yards, 1 touchdown. And you know he uses those feet of his. He rushed 10 times for 32 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns rushing. I hear you. But Indianapolis still ain't going to do nothing. All right. Let's move on to the running backs this week. I mean, we had a couple did their thing, but it wasn't too. Yeah, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon put up 35 points this week. The man was 20 rushes, 109 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He showed out. Yes, he did. And caught 2 balls for 44 yards also. So, yeah, he put up those points. But Saquon Barkley wasn't too far. He put up 34 points this week, 26 rushes, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 3 receptions for 52 yards. So, hey, 34 points. Barkley's back doing what he's been doing all season, putting up numbers. He got to be. Him and Derrick Henry is right at the top. You know, was in the top running backs this year. Man, they killing it. Brees Hall, 16 attempts, 78 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. But he also had 7 receptions for 43 yards and another touchdown. But all the production he be doing at times, and the Jets still losing. Terrible. Next up, the wide receivers for the week. Now, we had some wide receivers show out. So, you seen Jeff do his thing for Detroit. So, you know, Ross St. Brown had to do his thing. The man put up 38 8.7 points this week. He was 11 receptions, 161 yards with 2 touchdowns. Hey, 11 receptions. That's giving that man the ball. Somebody got to take it. T. Higgins up next with 9 receptions, 148 yards, and 1 touchdown. Now, T's back in the mix. Chase is in the. And Cincinnati still loses. Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup is back doing what he was doing for the past couple of years. Hey, 10 receptions, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Cooper, 28.6 points for fantasy. And Ja'Marr Chase, last but not least, on the top of my wide receiver, 26.5 points. He had 7 receptions, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah. But Cincinnati still can't win. It's just. Their defense is terrible. Keep that defense in waiver. Yeah. All right, that's a whole nother subject. All right, let's go to the tight ends. All right. Taysom Hill. Taysom, this guy is so, you don't know what's he going to do next. It makes no sense. He put up the most points of this week with 41.5 points. We're going to get back to him later on because it got to come back. I got to show him love how many points he put up. No doubt. Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers put up 31.3 points this week. Hey, for the tight end position, you can't complain about that. 13 receptions, 126 yards, and 1 touchdown for Vegas. Okay, Brock. Hey, one of the top tight ends this year and rookie. So keep doing your thing, bro. All right. Jonas Smith out of Miami, 28 points this week. Now, Jonah had 6 receptions, 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Hey, they use, Tua can use that tight end spot when he can. And yeah, he takes advantage of it in the red zone. So yeah, Jonas Smith, good game. Good one. Might be one y'all want to go pick up. All right. Next up, the defense. Now, this defense showed out. The Texans, they just had 17 points, but they contained. They had 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery for a touchdown, and 5 sacks. They held the Cowboys to 10 points. Yes. Yes, that's yeah. We don't even mention them right now, but yeah, good. Hey, good one, Houston defense. Keep up the good work. All right. And for my top players, we can't leave out the kicker. We can't, especially this kicker this week. Chris Boswell, the man put up 24 points. He scored all of the Steelers' points this past week to beat the Ravens. I mean, he hit 6 of 6 field goals. Yes, you heard me. 6 of 6. He hit a 32-yarder. He hit a 52-yarder. He hit another 32-yarder. He hit a 57-yarder. He hit a 27-yarder. Then he tops it off and hit a 50-yarder. Hey, that man's foot had to be sore by the end of the game. It was done. But he won it for the Steelers. That's all they needed was just 6 kicks. Man. Come on. Good game, Chris. Good one. All right. So, Who was the overachiever of this week? And what did you think we just talked about the man? Tua's tight end, Jonas Smith of Miami. Yes. The man was projected 8 points and he had pulled in 28 points. Now I already told you he had 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards, 6 receptions. So, those projected points probably will be going up shortly because you know what Miami do. Miami likes to throw that ball with Tua now since he's back there, handling the ride. So that's speed. It's receptions. He passes it. He's going to get it out there. So Jonas Smith he might be in your waiver wire. Go scoop him up. Scoop him up. All right. But now, who didn't show up? Who didn't go to the dance? Who was there but didn't even see him there? I mean, no interaction at all. So this week, I got a special for you. I don't got just one. I got two. Because at the end of the day, both of their teams lost. And they're usually factors. We're going to talk about first guy, Terry McLaurin out of Washington. Now, I don't know what was going on for this man to just get targeted one time. And then one reception, 10 yards. And that's it. 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. Yeah, that's not going to do. And then we're going to go down to Kansas City playing Buffalo. Travis Kelce, he's a factor. He's a definite factor. He had 4 targets, 2 receptions, 8 yards for 2 points. 8 yards, Travis Kelce? I mean, you couldn't even get 10? I know you probably part of a lot of people's parlay. Thought you was going to take care of Buffalo, but 4 targets to Travis Kelce? Yeah, that ain't good. No. Kansas City, y'all keep doing that. Y'all gonna lose a couple more. Watch out. But all right. Now, we got week 12 coming up. Now, who are we gonna start? Who are we gonna start? Now, I've been looking, I've been picking, I've been choosing. So now let me start you off. George Pickens from Pittsburgh. All right. They play the Browns this week. Yeah. The thing about it, he's had just 5 touchdowns this year, and you would think there's been more. So he needs more touchdowns. But Cleveland is in the middle of holding their opponents, holding their wide receivers. They not the best and they not the worst. But I think Pickens will probably have a good day. You got Russell. He's going to put it up. Russell will put some pass attempts up. So I'm thinking Pickens is going to have a big day. Give me about over 80 yards. I'm taking over 80. The over 80. That's what I'm going with. All right. Now this guy right here has shown up out of nowhere. You ask me. Will Disley. Now, the man last week he had 80. Last week though he had a good game against Vegas, 80 yards, a touchdown. So he has come a valuable weapon right now for Justin Herbert. So, and the crazy thing about it, Baltimore, yes, that's who the Chargers are going against. Baltimore gives up the 10th most points to tight ends. And just be watching out for him to start him more and more because he gets the Falcons after that. Then he has the Chiefs. Now, the Falcons are the 9th worst. Yeah. And then the Chiefs, The Chiefs are the second worst of giving points to tight ends. So enough said right there. I mean, he's probably about to start eating. All right, James Conner. Now we know James Conner's been having a up and down, but he's probably been he's had a fairly decent season for himself. I mean, hey, can't complain for your James Conner, in and out. But Seattle gives up the most, the not the most, the sixth most. Seattle has gives up the sixth most in the rush defense, and their opponent and James Conner comes in averaging 70 yards a game. So, 70, 80, 90, he get that. But he's at least getting a tutty almost every other game. I give him that. Getting a little yards. You can catch him, James Conner, out of the backfield, and he's going to get you some yards. And then, Conner has 5 touchdowns. He has 25 receptions this year already. So, yeah, I think he's going to keep it going in this game right here against Seattle. Now, Texas defense, they showed what they can do last week. They've shown it numerous times already this year, and they got what it takes. But I think they're going to keep rolling into this next game. Um, they're 6th in the league in pass defense. They're going against the Titans, and they hold their opponent to 188 yards passing the game. So their opponent this week is the Titans. Yeah. I'm betting on a pick 6 for the game. Our defensive touchdown. Something's going to happen because it happens against the Titans. That's what happens. And I'm going with the Rook. I got to keep Bo Nix in my lineup. I got him in one of my lineups, but I'm going with the rookie. Las Vegas gives up a little over 200 yards a game. And he averages right now a little bit over 200 yards a game. The man has 14 touchdowns this season, 6 interceptions. It is what it is. He has a 65% completion rating. And he's even second on his team in rushing. Hey, I'm sticking with Bo Nix, yeah. I'm looking for another good game this week. But now, let me tell you who I'm not starting, who I'm keeping on the bench, and don't want to hear nothing from him. Well, first off, we're going to Sam Darnold. I know some of you are like, hold up, Sam Darnold's had a good year. He's doing okay. Minnesota, they got it. But sometimes those money guys, you can't keep them in all the time because they do have the bad games. Because Sam Darnold just did have a bad game last week, the week before, where he threw several picks. But the Bears, they are playing the Bears. The Bears defense, they are 3rd in defense, pass defense. The Bears have 41 sacks. They have one of the top sacks team this year. So, I don't know. Just watch out. Like I said, if your top man is Sam, okay, I see you put him in. But if you got somebody equal, little benefit, yeah, keep him on the bench for a while. I don't know. Might work out. Let's say that. Wan'Dale Robinson for the Giants. Now, Tampa Bay holds their slot receivers to a minimum. So they hold their defense contains the slot receivers. So they don't be doing too much of nothing. But one thing we got to ask, who's quarterbacking for New York these days? The Giants. So we got Daniel Jones is going to be in the green room holding the headset and the clipboard. He might be in the box or whatever else. Heck, who knows? And we got DeVito and Drew. We don't know who's starting. So I don't feel no, none of those guys in New York. Mm-mm. Got too much going on right now. All right, then we got Xavier Leggett. Now, the thing about Carolina, they going against Kansas City this week. Kansas City's probably gonna come back strong. Kansas City's secondary gives up the third fewest to wide receivers. And Leggett, all year, he's just has gotten double figures in fantasy points just 4 times. So now we need more than single digits on our fantasy team to win. That's what we're looking to do is win. We need more than single digits. That ain't gonna do. So I'm keeping Leggett back there. Alec Pierce. Now, we knew when Flacco was back there, Flacco's letting that ball go. And that's when I think Pierce is getting more and more in action. He'll get Pierce one of those deep threats. He's going to catch. There's times he might just catch 2 or 3 passes, but he could get you about 190 yards because he would, those yak yards. But the one thing, he's the third target right now. Since Anthony Richardson's back in the mix, he's that third target. So I don't look for him to be getting too many receptions. I mean, he's averaging just 2 catches a game. So with that being said, I'm keeping him on the bench. Andy Richardson might hit him once or twice, but keep him. And last but not least, on my guys, is Raheem Mostert. Now, he's just slowly fell to the bottom of the totem pole in that running back room in Miami. He has struggled, but the last game where he was -2 yards off of 3 carries. Now, just looking at that, it makes him want to just drop him. I don't even want to just bench him. I just want to drop him. But we don't know if it's this hip, if he's having, or is this just an excuse. But we'll find out more coming towards Sunday if he has some issues with that hip. But hey, that's who I'm dropping. I mean, that's who I'm. I don't want to say. That's who I'm putting on my bench this week. Keeping them to the side. And hey, it is what it is. Let me tell you what. One quick thing. One shout out to our sponsors. One of our sponsors, Mal Wide Bird Company. World. They come with the best beers there is. I'm telling you that. They delicious. They're ice cold. When you go right down there and drink up, sit back, and hey, good atmosphere, laid back, not too hostile, and it's a good time down there. Malwire Beer Company. Go check them out. All right. Now let's get to my waiver wire. So we got a couple I've been looking at, peeping. Now it's time. You got a lot of buys. You got a lot of teams on buys this week, several. So you might need it. This is some you need to plug and play. I understand. Some of you might just want to pick up and stash because you never know. So now we're gonna start with Will Lutz, kicker out of Denver. The man, hey, he's 19 of 22 for the year. He's hit 24 point afters. And funny thing is, Denver's playing Las Vegas, and they are very generous to kickers. So kickers have a good time against Las Vegas, and he's only owned in 11% of leagues. So hey, go scoop. Roshan Johnson out of Chicago. Now he's starting to get more touches, and him and Swift are starting to get equaled out now. And with that, he's taking advantage of what he's getting. And you might want to scoop him, even just to have him for your depth. Put them back there, sit them back because you know it's gonna come playoff time when some of these guys are gonna start itching back. The starters, the backups gonna start playing more. There's been years when you got those backups have won leagues for you. So hey, he just owned 7% of leagues. Jalen Wright out of Miami. Now we just talking about most that ain't been producing. Jalen Wright's been trying to take advantage of that. Anytime he gets the ball, he's taking what he needs to do, uh, taking advantage of you know every little touch he gets. I guess HN, he gets a different position, but Jalen, he's quick on his feet. So you get him open out there, and he hit that hole, he's out. So, but you might want to. This might be another one you might want to stash away, even if you got some of y'all ain't your boy the Miami's running back owners. Y'all might, like I said, if you got HN and or most that I'm ready. Yeah, that's a whole nother question, but deal. But stash my man right away. Just owning 9% of leagues. Simple as that. And you got Quentin Johnson out of the Los Angeles Chargers. Now he's been producing lately. And the one thing about it, they are going against Baltimore this week. And we know how Baltimore's secondary is. So let me see. Justin Herbert just might have a good game or a great game. He might put that up and let it roll. And if Baltimore's secondary doesn't improve, just be ready to start any wide receiver, any quarterback that goes against them. But so, with that being said, Quinn Johnson just owning 52% of the leagues. You might need a backup for this week, for your man might be sitting out for the bye. So hey, one more for you. Kristen Watson from Green Bay. Hey, he was out for a while with injuries, but he's come back strong. He has come back strong. His target share right now is a little over 23%. Love is looking for him. Love has set him up good last week. He had a great game. And he next thing you know, this man might be Green Bay's number one receiver. Because if nobody else is going to step up, it looks like he's ready to. So just owning another 52% of the leagues. You need a wide receiver right now. Watson might just be that guy. Hey, let's move on. this is never easy, but at some teams it is. And this guy, I think he's been in this predicament before. And all right, y'all might ask, why is he the trash player? Because he had what he had. All right, Kirk. We going with Kirk Cousins this week. The trash player of the week. And let me tell you why. Cousins, okay, y'all like, oh, he was 18 or 27 for 173 yards. But he had no touchdown. An interception. He had 5 points, 5 fantasy points. A quarterback has no business getting you 5 fantasy points. 5. But if you're not helping your team win, that's my thing, is in the quarterback. You need to be there helping your team win and plus producing for your other team. Bijan Robinson, probably, I can't tell you. He probably didn't have no great game. Cal Pitts, I know he didn't have no great game. Drake London, I didn't even hear Drake London's name at all this week. So, yeah, Cal Pitts, it starts with you at the top of the ladder and it works its way down. And with what you had, That was a trash performance. That's why y'all taking trash losses. Kirk Cousins is trash. Baby. Trash. Mm-mm-mm. All right. We're going to go with the Don's Fantasy Player of the Week. And if you didn't know, I already mentioned it. And this guy right here, you never know when he's going to show up because it's the position he plays. He's all on that field, and he might do one thing. He might be in the slot. He might be in the tight end. He might be doing a quarterback. Who knows? But Taysom Hill, Taysom Hill showed out. He definitely showed out this week. 7 carries for 138 yards, 3 touchdowns, 8 receptions for 50 yards. The man put 41.5 points up. I got to give it to you. I mean, you did the Don's Fantasy Player of the Week. Hell of a game. Hell of a game. Hey. One thing real quick before I go into my leagues. Shout out to Vinyl Empire. Hey, if you need some products, you need some groom, you need some work done, you need some shirts, you need banners, you need, hey, they got what you need. Just go check them out, holler at them, you know, discuss what you need, bulk shipments and all. They will get it to you. All right, Vinyl Empire. All right, well, this week, back to my winning 2 and losing 2. I mean, I'm trying to get back in the mix of some of these leagues. I'm trying to at least get to that point where I'm playoff bound. But right now, and at least in one of them, I know it's not looking too good at all. Then people like, hey, how can talk about fantasy? How can you look at fantasy and you losing? I'm like, I mean, I don't got the perfect team. And I can't. I draft like everybody else drafts, and your players play. I mean, all fantasy is I wouldn't say luck, but it's all depends on how these guys and it's luck on your lineup. It's a weird world you play in this fantasy game, but hey, it's all good though. It's the best thing about the year though. It just makes you tune in to more, and I'm just trying to fight every little inch and get up in it. The 54 Sports Network. I talked some smack last week and I couldn't back it up to this fake team that I played. This team's fake. If you didn't draft your own team, your team's fake. Hey, it is what it is. Well, with that being said, oh man, it was a good week of football. It had some good games, definitely some good games, and right now, teams to watch out for, players to watch out for. We're gonna be interesting. We coming down to the final weeks. I think it's what we got 4 or 5 more weeks left, and all my leagues look like it's gonna be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. But hey, thank you, fans, fanatics, for tuning in. I hope you found this episode entertaining and helpful. And always stay positive and competitive. And with that being said, I'm out. See you next week. Peace.